Hey, hey, hey. The pussy has a holiday. Today is National Vagina National Vagina Appreciation Day. Or Vagina. I like Vagina. Vagina. Sounds very sophisticated. Vagina. Very vixeny. So happy National Vagina or Vagina Appreciation Day. And so, since the pussy has a holiday, I wanted to pay poetic homage to my pussy and read, recite, perform, whatever, a couple of poems that I wrote about my passion as her name is. She now told me what her name is. I'm getting all tongue tied. Lord have mercy. So, going into that, one of the newest pieces that I wrote was me discovering her name. So, short and sweet. My pussy's name is Passion, short for passion fruit, and she's passionate about being, getting, giving, and granting passionate pleasure. And all the time I've known her, I've never thought to ask her name. Today she told me my pussy's name is Passion. So, all hail Passion. And in honor of today, National Vagina Appreciation Day, I decided to forego underwear. I am free lipping it. Because I ain't got balls, so free balling just that doesn't apply to me. I'm free lipping it today. I have on my wrap skirt and a nice little another top that got my titty in. So yeah, that's how I'm showing my passion appreciation for today. This next joint is actually, I think it was a poem that I was starting, or it could have been, I have these moments where I just, whatever comes out, I just write it, and then it goes into the vault and I forget about it, and then I'm like, oh, that could have been a piece. I don't know if that was intended to be a piece or if it was just, me random free flowing, but I actually wrote this on my birthday. My pussy's personality is purple. Go figure, duh. Maybe a mauvish purple. That's all it is. 2 lines. My pussy's personality is purple. Maybe a mauvish purple. Mauvish purple. And I know that was inspired by, there was this commercial for birth control, I believe it was. Birth control that's not really supposed to be birth control or whatever. And the woman would come in and she had this room, and it was all pink, and it was like the room that was it was a visual representation of the inside of her pussy, or the brain of her pussy, or whatever. If her pussy was thinking, like, this was her pussy lounge, and so she's speaking in the voice of her vagina, and she's telling you about this new birth control that's not really birth control because it doesn't have hormones or whatever. So I remember watching that, and they had it all pink and stuff, and I was like, if my pussy had a personality, well, she does have a personality, she would be purple. I'm not a pink kind of girl, And if you know me, even if you don't know me, you can pretty much go on my page and see I'm all about the purple. I am the purple poet, the purple poetess, purple empress. So that's no surprise there. Next piece. This piece, actually, I think this is the newest piece that I've written. And I've shared this one before, but again, in honor of today, I'm gonna share it again. It's called Passion's Power, Passion's Power. And this is in reference to an art piece that I did when I was on my moon cycle. And I used my menstrual blood to create this painting. And from that, I wrote this poem, Passion's Power. The imprint of her lips upon the canvas, sharing Shango kisses, sweetly stains the blankness of page with her potent rage, shifting the starkness of crisp creme to crimson, where her power takes center stage. Uncaring whether her palate is palatable, her rose petal caresses leaves its beloved mark, spilling her love, heart, and soul unceremoniously. Passion blushes at her scarlet candor and starts to craft new art with her robust desire. I love that piece. Like, what an incredibly powerful piece about something that is usually, talked about in secret. You know what I mean? Like, it's 2022, and I think we're just now starting to get commercials advertising hygiene products where they're showing blood, like, and not fucking water and shit. Bitch, we don't bleed water. Like, it's always been this kind of woo-woo, hidden secrecy and shame when it comes to our menstrual cycles. And it's actually a very powerful time of the month. It can be very uncomfortable and it can be painful, but it's a very powerful time of the month, and so we should treat it as such. And so I really love this piece and that practice that I did, which may become a new ritual, creating artwork with my menstrual blood. That was a hella beautiful experience. Okay, let me take a sip of water. This next piece is called Word to Yoni. And I'm not sure I ever performed this piece aloud. Talk about purple. All right. Word to Yoni. She tastes like strawberry Hennessy, like Prosecco champagne and warm bourbon with a splash of honey. A celebration of refined decadence and sweet indulgence. She tastes like an intoxicating elixir of the rawest bouquet of wild hibiscus. Fragrant French petal kisses, the herbs and nectar of her essence are your blessings and your baptism. Thou grant her thy praise. She tastes like golden opulence, like exquisite creme de la creme. Regaled in the inner labyrinth of her labia, men get knighted when they dine on her majesty. Riches they can't afford readily spilling from her private throne like the jewels that they covet. And who will get crowned next? Humbly, he bows before her monarchy and pays homage to the queen. Savoring the flavor of carnal wealth, sensuous fortune, and dessert satin excellence, he kisses the ring and honors her glory. Blessed be beloved Yoni. Word to Yoni. Ooh! I just love how, like, I'm so unapologetically bougie. I love, she tastes like golden opulence. Because, bitch, I'm opulent. Like, so motherfucking fancy. Ooh. I remember I sent this to my partner at the time, and he was like, damn. But I was like, is it not true though? You right. Like, let's recognize. Okay. And then this last piece comes from my book, Wild Yoni Flower, that has a purple pussy flower on its cover. So, in honor of National Vagina Appreciation Day, I will read this last piece, and this last piece is called Desire. The tingling begins in my tummy, then travels down into my sacred seat. The warmth then spreads across the middle and below. a rush of fervor slowly melting my insides like hot candle wax. Now a pool of liquid collects, evidence of the internal ether burning. A mess of me spills onto the sheets, wetness unrestrained to one spot. The tingling reverberates and crescendos into a pulsating throb. The need for release so pertinent and imminent, my pelvis rises to meet my center. Heaving thrust-induced rapid hip mechanics, feeding the friction, fanning the flames with increased oxygen, yet I can't breathe nor speak. Sound coalesces into heat, and to all I hear is the throbbing desire. That throbbing be real though. So if you ain't guessed it by now, that piece was about masturbation. And I have began a practice, I believe starting last year. Yeah, starting last year, where I engage in self-pleasure or masturbate every day, as much as possible. Masturbating every day, not masturbating as much as possible, though a little bit of that too. But I mean, I wish I had, like, there are some days where it's been a while since I had a day where I just engaged with myself, me to me, all day. Those days are fucking glorious. Oh my gosh. But as much as possible, I do my best to pleasure myself on a daily basis. It is part of my self-care. It's part of my manifestation practice. And it feels good. It feels good. It puts me in the right frequency. There's magic associated to it. And it's so freeing and liberating to write about it and to be able to speak about it, because I remember when that was something that I was deeply ashamed about. It was something that I was very uncomfortable with. I was taught, as many Black girls and women are, that you don't do that. You don't do that. Self-pleasure, my pleasure was never my pleasure for my pleasure's sake. You feel me? Self-pleasure was looked at as something naughty, you know what I mean? I remember when I was really, really young, touching myself just innocently, you know what I mean? Exploring my body, maybe 5, 6. And I was shunned, you know what I mean? Like, immediately disciplined. And that taught me that was something bad. And then later, I was in middle school, I believe. And I remember watching Comedy Central. And there was this comedian, I don't remember the comedian, but I was watching this comedian on Comedy Central, and I was cracking the fuck up, and they were talking about masturbation. I believe it was a woman. It was a woman talking about masturbation, and I was cracking up. 13, maybe 12, 13. And my aunt walked past and overheard the joke and overheard, you know, my reaction to said joke. And then she... she snitched on me. I was about to say dry snitch. Wasn't no dry snitch. She straight snitched on me. And, you know, told my mom, and they had like a whole conference in front of me about how debating on whether or not that was something that I should have been doing. And they had this whole conversation / conference in front of me about me, but I wasn't included in the conversation. And my aunt, you know, was taken aback or whatever, but was like for it. She's like, she actually would like for me to learn about masturbation and how to pleasure myself, you know, because that will keep me from being away from the boys. That was always a thing, you know. You don't want to be one of them little fast little girls, right? So she was for it. And my mom was all like, you know, no, none of that. No sex, no boys, no privacy, like I couldn't keep my door closed and shit. Masturbation, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, and they had this whole ass conversation about, you know, and mind you, I wasn't even like doing anything at that point. I was just watching this show, and you know, that was the topic of discussion, and it was funny to me, you know what I mean? And I was always mature for my age, so like, and then the ironic part too is like, I was also privy to a lot of adult conversations way before than I should have been. So like, I knew about sex. I was a little naive in certain areas, but I knew a lot about sex, more than I should have at that age. So it was like, y'all not even protecting me from nothing. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, from that, you know, that policing, I was not comfortable touching myself. I was not comfortable engaging in self-pleasure. I didn't buy my first toy until I was 21. And then I started, you know, masturbating. And every time I would do it, I had to do it in the shower, and I had to wait, you know, when no one else was home. And even then, it's I still felt this sense of guilt and shame, you know what I mean? And it's wild. And so, like, ever since then, it's like whenever it would come to me pleasuring myself, it would be the aspect of it's something guilty and shameful. You're not supposed to do that as a good girl. Or your pleasure is supposed to be in tandem with your partner, you know, and a male partner, of course. So, you know, again, my pleasure was not supposed to be my pleasure for my pleasure's sake. You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't do any of that until you're grown, and then when you're grown, you do that for your partner. You know what I mean? Or, you know, not even masturbate for your partner, but any type of pleasure that you're experiencing should be in exchange or in tandem with your partner. So fucking ridiculous, the patriarchal world that we exist in, all of the misogyny that teaches women to be ashamed of what the fuck is natural. What is natural and healthy. So I'm so thankful that I'm now in a place where I can be like, not only do I engage in self-pleasure, but I make it an intentional practice to do so every fucking day. As a part of my morning routine, I must masturbate. So, and then to be able to say that without any type of discomfort or whatever, like, I know how to get me off every single fucking time, okay? Actually, I outdoes myself every single time. So, I just wanted to hop on and share, you know, some of those pieces that honor my beloved passion, my vagina, my vagina, my pussy, my yoni, my flower, all of the things, all of the beloved names for that powerful, powerful opening portal in between my legs. So, whoever, you know, is tuned in, I urge you to celebrate yourself, engage in self-pleasure, look at yourself. Have you ever looked at your vagina in a mirror? It's one of the most amazing things ever. So why not do that today in honor of National Vagina Appreciation Day? I like vagina. I like that shit. Vagina. So happy National Vagina Appreciation Day. Share in the comments, you know, what you're going to do to celebrate. Peace.